Hey, and welcome back to the Health Habit Podcast. I'm your host, Maria Bellavia, and if you've been chasing clearer skin, then this episode is for you, and it might surprise you. Today we're diving into two of the most overlooked yet foundational pieces of the skin health puzzle. And no, I'm not going to be talking about expensive serums or skincare trends. We're talking about the basics, the root level actions that affect your skin from the inside out. Are you tired of feeling overwhelmed by health advice, struggling to stay consistent, and craving more ease in your diet and calm in your mind? Then you are in the right place, my friend. Welcome to the Health Habit Podcast. I'm Maria, a nature-loving herbalist, science-obsessed nutrition therapy practitioner, and your guide to holistic healing. If you're ready for simple wellness solutions, nutrition tips, and mindset shifts to help you feel energized, fulfilled, and in control of your health, then brew up some tea or crack open a kombucha, and let's get into it. When I was in my mid-20s, all of a sudden, I started getting horrible acne, and it dramatically decreased my self-esteem. I didn't even want to be around my family. It was a horrible dark age in my life, which is ridiculous because you would think that skin, it's all appearance, but it really does impact your quality of life, how willing you are to connect with new people and to seek out old relationships, and the confidence that you exude. Skin quality plays a big factor in that, especially for women. And so I am all for natural ways and daily things that I can do to support my overall skin quality. And the other thing is, because I had those months and months of really bad acne, whenever I notice even a slight decrease in my skin quality, I get those pains, that fear can come up where I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to suddenly get acne again, it's going to be horrible. And that's the shadow side of it. But the great thing about it is, even those small decreases, I'm like, oh, what am I doing differently that's negatively impacting my skin? So I pay a lot closer attention than people that haven't experienced acne would. And one thing that I've found is, when I'm not drinking enough water, and generally I do try to support my hydration, but life be lifing sometimes. And when I have those decreases in overall hydration status, I notice a decrease in my skin. So after all this time, I finally decided to dive into the science and see if people have studied water intake and overall hydration status as it relates to skin. And as it turns out, people have done that research, and they found fairly modest improvements in skin quality, things like elasticity, overall hydration, appearance. But it was most dramatic for people that had already lower water consumption. But the thing is, most people actually live in a state of chronic, mild to moderate dehydration. So let's talk about dehydration for a quick minute. Water makes up over half of our total body mass, usually around 55 to 60%, which is about 10 to 13 gallons that is constantly circulating throughout our system. But the thing is, our body has no way to store water, so we are completely reliant on our daily water intake. We can produce some on our own, but it's 92% needs to come from our food and from direct water consumption. When we are dehydrated, it does impact our skin. It is going to reduce elasticity, which makes the skin appear more dull and flaky, and it impairs our skin barrier function. Skin is a very important organ. We could get into that in a future episode if you guys want to hear about the specifics of skin. But pretty much by impairing the function of our skin barrier, we can increase dryness and irritation sensitivity. It can worsen inflammatory conditions, things like acne, eczema, psoriasis, and can delay wound healing. So we are having an increased risk of breakouts, and then also lower ability to heal said breakouts. So if our water intake is low, And if most people are living in this chronic mild dehydration state, how can we remedy that? And the first thing is to be aware of dehydration signs, because some of the cues actually aren't as obvious as direct thirst. So for early dehydration cues, we can experience fatigue, low mood, dry mouth, which is kind of an obvious one. Also drops in memory, our ability to concentrate, and just like our overall cognitive function. And then more obvious things like our urine getting darker, cravings can start to pop up. Some people misinterpret dehydration for hunger, muscle cramps, anxiety and tension, headaches and migraines, and then chronic dehydration symptoms. Those are where it gets really interesting. Heartburn, joint pain, back pain, constipation, colitis, and even exercise asthma. All of these things can be correlated to dehydration alone. So by increasing water intake, we can improve our skin, but also we could help to remedy those chronic dehydration symptoms. So basic hydration tips. We can make sure we drink a glass of water upon waking. A lot of people really like to do lemon water. There's some great health benefits associated with that. Drinking slowly throughout the day, even when we don't feel thirsty. Thirst only happens when we are already dehydrated. So avoid that by just drinking a little bit throughout the day. Always drink slow instead of gulping down lots of water. If you just drink a high amount of water in one short sitting, you're going to pee a lot, but you're not actually going to retain most of it. And then whenever we start to experience fatigue, tension, anxiety, lack of focus, drink some water. And then the last one I would give you is to include foods that are very water dense. So think cucumber and watermelon. And the beautiful thing is these studies showed that increasing water intake, especially if you are one of those individuals that is chronically mildly dehydrated, it is going to get to the superficial layers of the skin, but also hydrate the deeper layers of the skin. And this can improve elasticity, which is associated with a lot of like the plumpness and that youthful appearance. It reduces dryness, can help a bit with smoothness, although they found more like it's a little bit more on the subjective side. It's harder to measure scientifically. The specifics of the protocols that they use to help increase the skin hydration and some of those quality measures was increasing water intake by 1 to 2 liters for at least 30 to 42 days. 1 to 2 liters is like 34 to 68 ounces of water. So to help ensure that you are not chronically in a dehydration state and also maximizing support for your skin, try to add on 40 ounces of water a day. The thing with water intake is there's no like recommended amount. People give their suggestions based on the average intake. So for males, the average intake is 100 ounces, and then for women, it's somewhere around like 74 ounces. So aim for a minimum of 70 ounces, and if you're a guy, you have larger body mass, go for 100 ounces. And then if we're really wanting to maximize everything, increase that by an extra 40 ounces to ensure that you're getting enough. I will say, you do want to also be adding electrolytes. Electrolytes are minerals that specifically help to regulate electrical properties within the body, and they're really important for retaining water. So if we are just drinking water, most of it is going to end up being excreted through the urine. If we add in electrolytes, we're going to retain more of it, pee less, have higher hydration level. Basic ways to do that is adding some high quality sea salt to some of your water, or there are trace mineral drops that you can purchase. Coconut water is a natural source of electrolytes. So just making sure that you're adding that to at least 1 or 2 servings of your water. There's so many benefits with just electrolyte intake alone, but it's going to help increase your hydration status, which, as we found, can help to improve appearance and skin hydration. Also functionality of your skin, because our skin does need to be properly hydrated in order to function well. from a research analysis and a scientific standpoint, they found more radical changes from topical moisturizers as compared to increasing water intake, because you do need to get to a base hydration status, right? So it can take a little bit longer to see the results as compared to you put a moisturizer on your face and your skin is immediately going to be more hydrated. So this is an add-on measure to ensure that we are supporting our skin health from the inside out, but still use topical moisturizers. Be mindful of the ones that you are selecting. You do want to make sure that you are picking a moisturizer that does not have carcinogens and endocrine disruptors. A lot of the things that they put in topical products actually have not some nice ingredients. So just be mindful of that. I'm not a low tox lifestyle expert at this point. So personally, I can't confidently navigate all the chemicals and ingredients in moisturizing products. So what I do instead is I use oil as a skin moisturizer. Jojoba oil, rosehip oil, even grapeseed oil. All three are a great way to ensure that you're supporting your skin barrier from the outside in. I have gone so far as to formulate an herbal oil as well that I use every single day on my skin. It's called Sensa oil. I designed it originally for somebody with psoriasis, so it's meant to promote healing for active flare-ups, reduce itching, really great for very sensitive skin that are prone towards inflammation. But I found it to be really helpful for acne as well because it's promoting the healing. It's antibacterial, so it gives you that extra confidence that you are 100% supporting your skin as much as possible. But never just use topical products. I'm biased because I'm a holistic health coach, but you do want to have internal lifestyle measures as well. So that is my number one secret to glowing skin that not a lot of people talk about, is making sure that you are properly hydrated. The second one, which is a little bit less as a surprise to people, is sleep. Sleep is so important for literally every single body system, but it actually dramatically alters your skin. They have done studies on people's subjective appearance of beauty, and those that were sleep deprived were consistently rated as less attractive because it negatively impacts the quality and appearance of your skin. So if you are struggling with acne or dull skin, dark circles, really inflamed skin, and you're not getting enough sleep, that may be your missing link. And by enough, even 6 hours of sleep is sleep deprivation. You need to be having 7 to 9 hours. It's a little bit different for every person. The specific number is 6 hours and 40 minutes. So go for a minimum of 7 to 8. Minimum. And then some people need more 9 to 10. Start experimenting with it, but really prioritize your sleep. Now, when it comes to skin specifically, how does sleep impact it? When we are sleep deprived, so less than 6 hours of sleep, there is an increase in cortisol levels, and cortisol can be linked to more oil production and more breakouts. And then it's also going to reduce collagen synthesis, which can lead to more sagging, more wrinkles, and just slower skin healing. Going to negatively impact the hydration status of your skin. That can result in dryness and rough texture. And as we've learned, when we're poorly hydrated, that is dramatically impairing the functionality of our skin barrier. So we're having more sensitivity, we're prone to more irritation. And visible aging, again, that dullness, enlarged pores, puffiness, not in the good elasticity, but overly puffy. And as a final aside, having insufficient amounts of sleep can also result in a paler complexion. So literally just having paler skin, which is pretty interesting. So overall, as a final summary, if we are not getting enough sleep, we're going to be perceived as less beautiful and radiant, but also we're going to be more predisposed towards skin inflammation, acne, and have a slower rate of healing in the skin department. So sleep, absolutely important. for our overall wellness, but also for our skin health. So let's get into how we can improve sleep. So I'm going to provide my top recommendations. The first one is regularity. Both our brains and our bodies, from a physiology standpoint, like patterns. So try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, plus or minus 30 minutes. Having regular sleep and wake times is a very strong predictor of overall health and longevity. So this is a great area to focus on. The other major sleep hygiene that I would recommend is dimming the lights at least 1 hour before bed. Strong lights disrupt our sleep-wake cycle dramatically. The other thing is to cool down your sleep area by at least 1 to 3 degrees. Really important for onset and maintenance of sleep. And lastly, limiting caffeine, alcohol, and marijuana intake. Caffeine you don't want to be having within 10 hours of your sleep time, ideally. And then alcohol, even having it in the morning, is going to impact your sleep. So as much as we can avoid it, the better off your sleep is going to be. You don't necessarily need to completely abstain, but it's great to be aware of so you can make a more educated choice, knowing that the days that you drink alcohol, you're going to have less quality sleep. And as far as marijuana goes, a lot of people use it to help with sleep onset, and alcohol is used in a similar manner. It does help you fall asleep, but then it's lowering the quality of your sleep. Marijuana is a little bit less intense of a negative impact than alcohol, but it is still going to negatively impact your sleep, specifically rum. And there we have it. 2 very underrated ways to improve your skin from the inside out, ensuring that we are properly hydrated and getting good amounts of quality sleep. And then for those of you that are looking for some extra support from a topical standpoint, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, I do have my Sensa oil blend. I formulate it with calendula for skin healing and inflammation, chickweed to help reduce itchiness and redness, and then marshmallow root to add protective, soothing support to the skin barrier. Overall, the blend is antibacterial, nourishing, and designed for people that have sensitive skin. So you can find it on my website. Just head to thehealthhabit.net/shop. Hello, beautiful human. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something new and felt inspired or blessed. If so, please take a moment to share this with a friend who's also working to improve their health and wellness. And leave me an honest review on Apple Podcasts. It lights me up to know that this podcast is helping you. Now, go get some sunshine on your skin, and I will meet you back here on Saturday morning for another episode. Bye!